Ethiopia, one of the most ancient civilizations on Earth, once the largest and most powerful nation in the world, controlling the biggest trading ports from the Middle East to Kenya. This historical and geological marvel holds over 65% of Africa's mountains and was home to one of the oldest remains of humankind for over 2 million years. My name is Leah Ndala. I was born in Ethiopia soon after a military coup overthrew an emperor whose lineage dates back to the Old Testament in the Bible, and so my family was forced to flee the violence when I was 1 year old. I'm not a filmmaker or a historian. I'm just a member of the Ethiopian diaspora who could never completely shake her roots. I recently returned to Ethiopia to celebrate my grandmother's life, 7 years after she passed. My family is large. Many of us met there from our various boroughs around the world for this occasion. Hey, Zana, do you know where Mama's going today? Where's Mama going today?
It's got pack.
Yeah,
She's back.
To Ethiopia.
Yeah, up and down.
She's going to fly to Ethiopia with a plane. Ooh.
Now what this?
And Mordish is flying. Yes, you're right. Your Mordish is flying now.
Zana, can you practice your Amarinya with Mommy? Okay. How do you say ant? Living a multicultural life is certainly enriching, but it also comes with its challenges and sacrifices, especially when you've lived practically your whole life abroad. But it's still very important to me that I pass on the foundations to my son, so when the time comes in his identity development, he can have a choice as to how much of his Ethiopian heritage he internalizes. For me, that starts with learning how to read and write. He knows around 40 words now, and when he turns 3, we'll start learning how to read and write the alphabet. And we've only accomplished this through consistency and a lot of patience. Can you say flower, Bamarinya? I know how to say flower. It's Papa's turn. Papa, do you know how to say flower, Bamarinya?
No.
Whose turn is it?
Zana.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zana. Okay, tell me how to say flower.
Ababa.
Gomez. What about leaf?
Good.
What about train?
Bubble.
What about cat?
Ibit.
What about dog?
Mesa.
Yeah. What about bird? Do you remember bird?
Ralph.
Yay! This one's hard. What about frog?
Garden.
All right, man. Isana. Go.
Say bye-bye, Mama. Have a good trip.
Bye, Mama. Tick.
The time it takes to get halfway across the world can be a journey in and of itself. Depending on how much you want to spend and what season it is, it can take over 30 hours one way. The plan is to meet my sister at the airport in town and travel to Chicago together. Then we'll separate to 2 separate flights landing in Germany 5 hours apart. There we will meet up again for another 7-hour flight that stops briefly to refuel in Saudi Arabia before landing in Ethiopia.
Once upon a time, long ago, some legendary Africans I know had a vision that was long and strong of a people divided coming together as one. They dreamt of a highway that cuts across this beautiful continent of ours, through the forests and the deserts, bringing together sisters and brothers on the Trans-Africa Highway. East, west, north, south, this road is bound to peace, strength, and unity. No visas needed, get on board. Trans-Africa Highway, east, west, north, south, This road is bound to peace, strength, and unity. No visas are needed. We are free. Oh. We are free.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have left our cruising altitude now and we are coming close to our destination, Addis Ababa. We hope you enjoyed our flight so far. As we begin the descent towards the airport, we have to ask you to return to your seats and unfasten your seatbelts. Also, please switch on all electronic devices now. Thank you.
On the Nile and the Zambezi. Let's go down to Cape Town, to the township Java, the ocean's dome, and go up to Cairo, all the places we could go.
So, this is my first debrief. The travel itinerary, I left my house at 8 o'clock yesterday morning. 8 o'clock? Close to 7:45. Thursday morning, Atlanta time right now, it's 5:20. Friday afternoon, evening. One of our uncles had prepared a cultural night dinner tonight for everybody who's traveling in. And so we went straight to the dinner after the airport. Didn't change, didn't clean up, didn't brush my teeth. All stinky and dirty. At one point, my uncle who prepared everything pulled Leah and me. Everybody was on the dance floor except us. And he pulled us in to do some skista and dance with everybody else. And a part of me was self-conscious because I'm not very good at this. But I noticed as I'd been standing there that more than half the group actually isn't very good at this. And these are people that actually live here. Then I was like, you know, yo, you're with your family, yo. Like, that stuff doesn't matter. Like, go have fun, go enjoy them, be with them, share this moment with them. And I did. When I did see my family members and watching each of their faces pop up one by one, I had a sense of I'm home.
So, tomorrow, most of the family is taking about a 10-hour car trip into the mountains where my grandmother lived and where my mother started a family. In the meantime, we're going to be in the capital, Addis Ababa. And right now, we're in my uncle's guest house. My sister and I got our own room in his guest house, so we're feeling very honored. And I will tell you more when there is more.
I remember when it used to be so simple and so fancy free. Our house was full of family. What's mine is yours, what's yours.
This is Gash Ayalu, whom I haven't seen since I left Ethiopia when I was 1. Meeting new family and friends who knew my grandmother is something I cherish. They hold a new perspective that I add to how I know my grandmother. They remember stories I never heard and trigger memories in those I know, so I learn even more. This is how wisdom is passed down in my family.
ጥያቄ ስትጠይቅ አባባል ምን አለች? ከትምህርት የምታስታውሰው ምንድን ነው? ትልቅ ነገር እንደምታየው አይ ትምህርት ያስተማረችው ማለት ነው። እና ምን አለ? ካባዬ ልጅ ሆነን ወጣት ሆነን ማለት ነው። እኔ በቃ ትለፋለች ሁሉ ጊዜ እና እኔ ከውጭ ወይ ደስ ሄጄ ወይ ሄጄ ስመጣ ትመጣና ውጭ ትቀበለኛለች። እኔ እና ከፋይ ለሰራተኞች ተቀበለች ልጆቿ አሉ እና እናደዳለሁ እና ሁሌ እቆጣለሁ። እንደዚህ ነው በኋላ እንደሱ እየላታለሁ ዝም ትለኛለች። አሁንም ሄጄ ነው የሚቀጥለው ስመጣ ደጅ ወጣ ወይ ባርኔጣዬ መካፖርቴን ተቀበለኝ። በኋላ አለ እኔም ጭቅጭቁ ሲበዛባት አለ ሰማሁ ያለችኝ እኔ ይህንን መሰረት ካለ ያሳስኩ አክብሮቴ ላንተ እንኳን ወለድካቸው ልጆች አይደሉም የቀጠርካቸው ሰራተኞች አያከብሩ ያን ምሳሌነት እኔ መሰለኝ እሷ አለች
እንደው እግዚአብሔር የሰጣት አይምሮ በጣም የመጠቀ ነው ሲያሳ እንዴት ያላደረ
አሁን ሳይንስ አልከው ታወሰርስ ግን ደግሞ እግዚአብሔር መልካምነቱ እንዴት ነው ከመሄዷ በፊት እንደገና ዶሮ ጫጩቶቿ እንደምታቀፉ ሁሉም መጥቶ ልጆቿን እኔ ያለች ካሁን በኋላ ሙሽራ ነኝ የልጅ አንገት ሳያምረኝ ከሬሳ ላይ ወሳልፍ ሁላችሁ እግዚአብሔር ይስጣችሁ እግዚአብሔር ባርካችሁ። አሁን የተነሳችሁ ሂዱ ወደ ኋላ ማለት አሁንኛ በቃ አለ አይደለም ወደ ተብሎ ነው የምንሸኘው ቦታ መልቀቅ አለብን ጊዜያችን እሷ እንደሱ
I remember a dancey chess unasi fella kaketama I remember.
The day after we arrived, my mother, her sister Gannat Abagaz, and brother Barhanu Abagaz were planning the coming event celebrating my grandmother's life. My sister and I just kicked our feet up and soaked in the conversation. My uncle Barhanu came over and I got to hear him and my mother talking about my grandmother, who she was. I've only met her a few times in my life, quite literally maybe 3 times in my life, and you know how to be with a grandmother. I didn't know what a grandmother meant. I didn't know how I was supposed to act. I didn't know what I was supposed to say. I didn't know what to expect, and on top of that I knew she was just going to leave again, so I didn't want to open myself up to her and be close to her in the short time that I had her, just for her to go away, and have that be, you know, one more person in my life that I have to miss every day, because moving around a lot, that's just missing the people that are close to you. It's just something you never quite get used to, but you have to live with. And then the last time I talked to her, I was actually able to talk to her and apologize for that time in my life and explain to her. She smiled, had this knowing smile on her face, and gave me a hug, and she didn't even say anything, but she didn't need to say anything. So it was good. It was good to hear those stories and get to know her a little bit better through them. You know, one of the questions I posed before taking all this footage was, being a part of the diaspora, what does it mean to go back? What aspect of this trip is going to inform my identity moving forward? And I think it's going to keep coming back to Mete. And I like that. Tomorrow we're going to set off to Dase, about 6 to 10 hour car ride. We rented a bus for about 10 of us that'll be riding together. Let the fun begin.
You wake up and step out of your home. I stepped out of my zone, and now I might be alone, like ideas for they grown. Most never know the loneliness of genius souls. Wander pondering the deepest excavation of spirit, and secret voices telling us truth that do envelop us. We mirror all these images. Together we are limitless. Apart we are just parts of a harmony of hearts that honor all of us. Without our armor, just a start. I'm farther than I ever thought was possible before you. Remain loyal like rain to the soil. Please wash over all of us and breathe like the seasons. We rooted in our excellence, still see other perspectives and consider contradiction, different ways than we live in.
We have many stops to make before getting on the road to Kutaber from Addis. On the way to pick up my 2 cousins and their 2 sons, I noticed something about this city. There's just this complete mishmash of what I would call country living and city living. One moment you're driving on cobblestone roads with the open markets boasting bright tarp and tin roofs. The next, you turn onto paved roads with 4 to 5 story malls and apartments with marble floors.
If I could get you to step out of your comfort zone, we would be closer, closer. If I could get you to step out of your comfort zone, we would be closer, closer. When I heard your voice, something older than a
The things that I find my mind contemplating about my environment include the colors, so bright and vivid and everywhere. This evokes a duplicitous feeling, partly full of potential and hopes and dreams, and partly tinged with melancholy at being away for so long. Next, we go to my uncle's house to pick up both him and my aunt. As we edge out of the city, we begin to climb up Ethiopia's notorious highlands. The scenery begins to change as we enter another side of this country, to which I am most drawn. Atop a chorus of chirping birds, Orthodox churches worshiping, and the fond greetings of sisters, cousins, nieces, fathers, and daughters, was a telling view of the remarkable geography of Ethiopia. So we're on our way to Kutaber, and we stopped on the side of the road for a picnic. Actually, this family has such a unique opportunity placed upon us. It'd just be such a shame if we didn't at least try to do something with it. I do believe there's something to be treasured in the journey for each of us. And I do believe that there is a potential to do something greater than all of us.
The landing time is 6:05. Deja vu, all and all. The air is soaking through with spices and fires and spring. You remember everything, and nothing here is yours. And all at once the lights turn on. You speak in tongues you thought you lost. All at once the lights turn on. You speak in tongues you thought you would have lost.
It's as though the mountains here are so big that you can drive along roads that have farmland resembling the Midwest on one side and the foot of the Rockies on the other. Small towns are spread over these flat expanses, bustling and vibrant, Christians and Muslims living in peace in a truly integrated community. And then, The mountain's ridges no longer yield to irony, and you start to see the homes nestled into their sloping sides.
Palace gates where lions roamed, pretending to be tame, but the wilderness shone on their names like it ran in your veins and all at once and all.
እኛ ከነበርንበት እናንተ ደግሞ እንደምታወት ለማስተላለፍ አንድ ኃላፊነት አለብን። ሬስፖንሲቢሊቲ ሶ ምሽት ያልነው is one that should give you some insight into the life they lived. እና እንግዲህ እዛን continue ለማድረግ and you are sort of the bearer carrying it on to the next generation. That's true. Maintain your link. See his sacrifice. I think we should all appreciate that. You have choices to make. For the many things you wanted to do, you chose to come. We appreciate it.
Finally, we arrived in Dasse to join the rest of the family. The marble floors and flat screens in our hotel room sat in direct contrast to the rooftops in the beautiful city peering at us from the balcony. Soon, we would visit my uncle and aunt and their 3 children, who have likely spent over a year preparing for this gathering in their home. Upon arrival, we pass the food being prepared for the next day and see buckets of hand-chopped onions the size of laundry baskets. Eventually, we all found our beds and got a long and needed night's rest. I was the shinteraru fetto melone shankashado defto
ለኛ ነው ብዬ ሐሳብ እንደው አንድ ሐሳብ መስጠት ፈልጋለሁ። ተናባሪ ይሄን ያህል ከ10 12 9 ከ31 በአንድ ወቅት ማንኛችን ቤት መተናል። ማንኛችን በየትኛው ወቅት መተን እናውቃለን?
እና አባባ ቤት እንኳን አትገኛም።
ከቤቴ በላይ ቁራ ሰፍሮ የለችም ብሎ ሄሎ በሎ እኔን ያበረኝ ያከንፈኝ የዝሆነ ሞት ያሰጠኝ የዝሆነ ሞት መራራ ነው የጀግና ልቡ ተራራ ነው ተራራ ሄጄ ስመለስ አህያ ሞቶ ትብሳለት እባብ አንገቱን ሲነቀስ ቁንጫ ቆማ ስትቀድስ
As we made our way to the church where Mete and Apapa rest, the day welcomed us with a bright and sunny sky. The morning rays cast light upon us through the eucalyptus trees that gave an enchanted feeling. The priests greeted us and prepared a meal of epic proportions, which we shared with them once we were able to say our goodbyes to Mete and Apapa. Now the question remains, how does one honor such a legacy? Well, I'm a high school counselor who believes in the value of investing in our youth. I went straight to where I fit in best. The students of Kutabar School blew me away. You see the young man in the back? He doesn't know it in this documentary, but he will go on to study anesthesiology, straight out of high school. I also met with the school headmaster, the school board, and received a thorough tour of the facilities, which included a science lab for each science subject and plasma television in each classroom, all with a backdrop that catches your breath each time you look up. My grandfather was among the first teachers to teach at Kutabar School. The family home, just a stone's throw from the school, has been converted into a resource center with endless opportunities. Upon entering the compound, I walked down a steep path to the main grounds, thinking about how long my family has walked these same steps. After returning to the United States, I connected with a friend of mine, Lemuel LaRoche, director of a nonprofit in Athens, Georgia called Chess and Community. He teaches the youth of our community chess as a metaphor for life, how to strategize and think ahead instead of just reacting to situations in which we find ourselves. The Kutabar School and Alansha School in Kutabar have accepted our challenge to a chess tournament in Ethiopia. We are now working to bring our students from Athens, Georgia to Kutabar, Ethiopia within the next 2 years. While we're there, we will engage in service learning and offer classes in history and culture of Ethiopia. So stay tuned to witness the inspiring things all of our children will build together. And thanks for watching.
ሽምብራበደው ክፋትን እናርጋ ሽምብራበደው ክፋትን እናርጋ ሽምብራ ሞኝ ነው ይደስ ይደርሳል በሰኔ የኢትዮጵያ ወጣቶች አይወዱም ኩነኔ አይወዱም ኩነኔ ሽምብራ ሞኝ ነው ይደርሳል በሰኔ ይደርሳል በሰኔ የኢትዮጵያ ወጣቶች አይወዱም ኩነኔ አይወዱም ኩነኔ ባለጋሪው ባለጋሪው ቶሎ ቶሎ ንዳው 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 አንተ ባለጋሪ ውሰደኝ በሞቴ አፍሪካ ሰፈር ነው ኢትዮጵያ ነው ቤቴ አንተ ባለጋሪ ውሰደኝ በሞቴ አፍሪካ ሰፈር ነው